Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you an action thriller film, Break. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins with a man named Jeremy waking up in the dark. He doesn't know where he is, but he can feel that he is enclosed in a small dark space that almost feels like a coffin. The only source of light is a clock counting down 3 minutes and 24 seconds. Jeremy shouts and calls out to someone, thinking that the man he owes gambling debts to had kidnapped him. Suddenly, another man's voice crackles through a police radio lying beside Jeremy. The man is panicking, and it seems that he is also trapped like Jeremy. He also describes a clock that is now counting down to 2 minutes. Jeremy tries his best to calm him down, but the man is still panicking. The clock runs out, and Jeremy hears sounds coming from outside. Something rumbles to life, and Jeremy starts moving. He deduces that he is in a car trunk, and the vehicle is now moving. Through the radio, the man informs him that he is in a car trunk too. Jeremy proceeds to ask the man where he last remembers he was. The man reveals that he works in the State Department and that he was in New York for a business trip before he was abducted. Meanwhile, Jeremy tells him that he can't reveal what his work is and where he was. The car rumbles to a stop, and Jeremy is thrown around the trunk. He asks the man if the vehicle has already stopped, and the man affirms this. The clock runs out again. Suddenly, bright lights turn on around Jeremy. He discovers that he is in a glass-like coffin with wires and tubes around it. Someone slides a postcard of the White House through a tube. Jeremy turns it over and sees his kidnapper's message, demanding that he reveal the location of the place called the Roulette. The man tells him that he also received a postcard informing him of Jeremy's name and that Jeremy holds the answer to the kidnapper's question. Jeremy answers that he can't reveal the answer. The man pleads with him, but Jeremy is resolute. He turns off the radio and inspects the glass case around him. The clock runs out again and the car starts moving again. He fiddles with the radio and tries changing the frequency to contact some other person. He manages to get a hold of a stranger who asks him what's the problem. Jeremy quickly tells him about his situation, but the stranger is reluctant to believe him, thinking that he is just playing a prank. Jeremy convinces him to honk his horn 3 times so he can see if he is close to the vehicle where Jeremy is. Sure enough, he hears 3 honks close to the back of the vehicle. Through his ingenuity, Jeremy helps the stranger locate the vehicle. But right then, the driver catches on to what Jeremy is doing and takes some quick turns to lose Jeremy's rescuer. The car stops again, but Jeremy loses the signal and can't contact the stranger anymore. Later on, he manages to contact his estranged wife. At first, she thinks that he is just drunk, but he tells her that it's an emergency and he needs his help. He asked her to contact the emergency number that he gave her before and tell that number that they need to secure the president. The wife tries to find the paper with the number on it, but she suddenly sees that there's someone outside their bedroom window. The line goes silent, and Jeremy worries about his shitty wife. Eventually, the vehicle comes to a stop again. Jeremy peeks through the tube and catches a glimpse of the kidnapper. He sneaks his arm through the tube, but the kidnapper grabs his arm. Suddenly, bees flood inside the glass case. Jeremy screams in pain as he is bitten by a bee. He is allergic to bee stings, and he almost dies, except the kidnapper gives him a shot of EpiPen. He asks the kidnapper why he saved his life, and the kidnapper answers that he is a very valuable asset to them because he is a special agent who was assigned to protect the president. Jeremy knows the location of the secret bunker, also known as the Roulette, where the president can hide in times of emergency. This is why he was kidnapped. Jeremy picks up the radio and talks with the man again. He asks the man a few questions to verify whether he was telling the truth, when the man said that he also works for the State Department. The man continues to plead with Jeremy, and he even adds that he has a family waiting for him to come home. But Jeremy still refuses to give up the location and tells the man that it is their duty as agents of the state not to reveal government secrets even under duress. The kidnapper orders Jeremy to stay quiet. Jeremy senses that the vehicle was stopped by a police officer. He immediately starts kicking the glass case and hollering so the police officer can hear him. This forces the kidnapper to speed off, but the police officer hears Jeremy and shoots at the car. The bullet penetrates the trunk and pierces through the glass case and finally hits his leg. The vehicle stops and Jeremy sees through the tube that the kidnapper is now dead and lying in the front seat. He reaches his arm through the tube and grabs the kidnapper's cell phone. The cell phone rings and Jeremy answers it. Another man is speaking on the other side. The man realizes that it's Jeremy, and he smilingly informs Jeremy that he has his wife, and bad things will happen to her if he doesn't cooperate. Jeremy ends the call and dials emergency services this time. He talks to the 911 operator, and she triangulates his location and tells him that he is in Maryland. Jeremy is shocked because that means the group that captured him really has plans to attack the president. He tells the operator to send units to his wife's house immediately. Jeremy widens the hole that was made by the bullet and catches the attention of a dog owner walking nearby. He almost releases Jeremy, but he is gunned down by another one of the kidnappers. This kidnapper gets into the front seat and starts driving again. The operator calls him back and informs him that the police searched their house, and it was empty. His wife is missing, and there is a note addressed to Jeremy, telling him that she will be safe as long as he cooperates. Jeremy talks to the man through the radio again. The man is panicking now because his clock is counting down to 11 minutes. Eventually, the line disconnects, and Jeremy can no longer hear him. Minutes later, he hears from the car radio that an explosion has rocked the city. It was a car bomb that was strategically planted near a government building. He pulls out the phone and calls a colleague of his. The colleague immediately asks him if he is being kept in a trunk. It turns out the terrorist group has been dispatching several car bombs around the city. Other government officials were also kidnapped, like Jeremy, and stuck in car trunks that would later explode. Jeremy hangs up and dials his wife's number. She answers while crying, saying that she was kidnapped and stuck inside a car trunk. As she continues to sob, Jeremy apologizes to his wife for letting her down and being the reason why they separated. Eventually, the line disconnects. Jeremy talks to the boss kidnapper again, who is still demanding that he reveal the location of the bunker. But Jeremy still firmly says no. Afterward, the man frantically begs Jeremy through the radio to tell him the location. Water is rapidly filling up his trunk, and he will drown soon. Despite his turmoil, Jeremy still doesn't reveal the location. The vehicle Jeremy is in suddenly begins to move. He calls his colleague again, who informs him that more bombs have gone off. The vice president is now in a secure location, but they're still trying to find where the president is. The colleague asks Jeremy for the location of the bunker, but again, he refuses and hangs up the phone. The wife contacts Jeremy and tells him that she thinks she's in an ambulance. He hears ambulance sirens beside the vehicle he is in and surmises that his wife is very close to him. The vehicle stops. The colleague calls Jeremy and relays that he and his team are trying to locate his wife and has narrowed it down to 1 mile from the White House. Jeremy informs him that his wife is in an ambulance and it might explode any second. The colleague springs into action and dispatches the team to locate the ambulance. The boss kidnapper calls Jeremy and gives him one last chance to reveal the location, but he still keeps his mouth shut. The boss kidnapper gleefully tells him to say goodbye to his wife because the terrorists will kill her in retaliation. The phone rings again. Jeremy picks up, and it's his wife. He tells her that he took an oath and he can't put the president in danger. The wife cries and begs him to reveal the location. He apologizes one more time and asks her to accept him as who he is. The wife relents and tells him that she loves him no matter what. Suddenly, Jeremy's glass case begins to fill up rapidly with water. The colleague calls him again and tells him that his case is filling up with the liquid bomb. It turns out the colleague is in cahoots with the terrorists and has been working all along to get Jeremy to reveal the location. The colleague offers him one last chance to say the location and save his wife, but Jeremy sticks to his gun and still refuses. Moments after the case fills up, a man yanks Jeremy out of the trunk. Jeremy grabs a gun and prepares to fight for his life. The man is revealed to be the same man he was talking to on the radio. Jeremy's wife appears too and assures him that everything is okay. Finally, the colleague arrives and informs Jeremy that this was all an exercise to test if he really is loyal to the US government. There was no terrorist threat after all, and they're not in the city. They are in a training compound. Jeremy slowly accepts that he is no longer in danger. He is strapped to a gurney and taken inside an ambulance so he can get his wounded leg treated. As he rests, his wife climbs up the ambulance to be with him. Jeremy asks her how she got involved in the ruse. She answers that the government paid for her to participate, and now they can pay off his gambling debts. A while later, the ambulance passes by the Washington Monument and Jeremy chuckles when he sees it. Noticing that, the wife asks if that's the location of the president's bunker, and he replies that it's not important now. He then pulls out an engagement ring from his pocket and asks her to marry him again. The wife says yes and leans down to tongue massage him. However, she handcuffs him to the gurney. She also pulls out an earpiece and confirms with the colleague if they have heard their conversation. Finally, it is revealed that the terrorist plot was true all along. They kidnapped Jeremy to break him and get him to confess where the location of the bunker is, so they could eliminate the president. The fake twist of telling Jeremy that it was just an exercise was part of their plan to get him to lower his guard. His wife, the colleague, the man, and everyone else he had talked to while kidnapped were all members of the terrorist group. The colleague orders the wife to kill Jeremy because he is of no use to them now. She obeys, and the movie ends with her placing a mask over Jeremy's face to kill him with poisonous gas. All day, Jeremy had stared death, injury, and threats on the face, and he never backed down from his oath. But the terrorists still win all because Jeremy's weakness was his wife. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.